Okay, let's do this thing. We're talking about authentic assessment for literacy today. Portfolio and anecdotal records is what we're going to look at first of all. First of all, authentic assessment, sometimes called direct assessment or informal assessment. I don't like informal because that makes it sound less important. We are looking at documenting literacy behaviors as they occur in the real world. Real world products and performances instead of simply responding to questions. No tricks, no puzzles, no silly paragraphs to read. Authentic real world behaviors. So it is a form of performance assessment. Students are required to demonstrate proficiency or competence or knowledge by creating a product or performance. So this is very much related to performance assessment or performance-based standards, which is another video lesson in and of itself. Some simple logic for you. Instruction should match reality because we are getting students ready to meet reality. Assessment should match instruction. You should not assess on that which you have not instructed. Therefore, assessment should match reality. Simple logic. Authentic assessment is closer to reality than reading a paragraph and filling in one of 4 bubbles. Nothing wrong with standardized tests, nothing wrong in the world, as long as they are one of many sources of data use. Portfolio assessment is an ongoing collection of data, kind of like collecting soil samples. As I've said before, you collect as you're going on, and portfolios can be used for reading and writing, both. And I'm going to show you some examples. This is a great idea just to begin a reading portfolio. Something like this, I call it a monthly reading description chart. Students can keep track of their own. That's not something you have to do, something they can update themselves. Once a month, stapled inside a manila file folder or put in there, student records the books read and the date completed. That gives you a sense of that child is a reader. Or topics, subjects, or ideas read about. Maybe they read magazines or internet websites. Interesting, yeah. Genre or types of book read. Again, so we're documenting that child is a literate being. Simply put, tally marks in each genre read. If during a month I saw a whole bunch of maybe tally marks there, we would set a goal for next semester maybe to read 2 books there or 2 books in another genre. And again, the goal is to get a sense of that child is a literate being. Describe an interesting character from a book you've read. Okay, that tells me something. Number of book talks. Book talk is simply the child telling about a book they like, anywhere from 15 seconds to 2 minutes. Nothing kills reading like book reports. Nothing encourages reading like the child standing up and giving you book talk. I like this book because. Number of book reviews. That's like a movie review using the thinking skill, critique, and evaluation, where you have a set of criteria and the child rates the book on those criteria. Books you'd like to read, what are your goals for next month? All right? Authentic assessment, direct assessment. It's where you are observing students in class. You're observing them reading and writing. Authentic. And again, as I've said, they should be across time. You're collecting data across time. Versus the standardized test is a snapshot. Ka-chink! That shows just a moment of time. Across time, good. Snapshot, not so good. Portfolio assessment or authentic assessment keeps records of students, both their strengths and their weaknesses. There's 2 types of folders. One is the student maintained folder, where they are responsible for updating the books read or vocabulary words or spelling or everything. They have access to it. It's in a milk carton and it's on the shelf, and they can go in and put things in their own file folder. The other is the teacher maintain, where the teacher records anecdotal evidence and the teacher looks for tests and end of the unit things and fluency things and other things to put in there. Anecdotal records, it's a written observation of what you see taking place, kind of like Jane Goodall observing gorillas. That's what you are doing. You're simply observing your students and recording. Now, students say, what do you record? What do I record? Start observing and recording, and you get a sense of those things that you should record. For instance, simply take a sheet of paper and say, well, I'm going to observe 3 students during literacy, observe their literacy behavior. And the process of observing and recording makes you a better observer. You begin to notice things, and this is where checklists are born. And this is the type of thing that's put in a manila folder. Now, I could tell you exactly what to observe and record, but that would be cheating you. Growth. Anecdotal records, kid watching. A simple form is to have each child's name there, have a 3-ring binder, and simply take turns recording each child. I mean, you can make forms like this. Okay, these were just the beginning ideas on authentic assessment. I looked at portfolio, just give you just an overview. There are so many ideas out there. Do Google portfolio literacy, Google portfolio assessment, or anecdotal records. You'll come up with thousands of ideas. I just want you to understand the basic concept so that you have a knowledgeable context to put these ideas in. Here endeth the lesson.